Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Mole Trap here, coming at you with another one of our MSL 100 games. It's been a little bit. It's been a few weeks or something since I've done one of these. And this is going to be an interesting game to watch. This is from the Stout MSL round of 16, as you can see there on the screen. If your eyes can make it out, if you remember to wear your glasses today. And yeah, this is going to be between Gundam and YellOw. And YellOw is going to be the blue Zerg at the left side of the map. And he is going to be facing off against, there he is right there. YellOw, very, very famous player. If you're not familiar with YellOw, he was known as the Storm Zerg, for the fact that he was basically the first Zerg that played well. And by today's standards, that's an exaggeration, but he was basically the Zerg player for 2001. And critically, he was also kind of the foil for Boxer. Like 2001 and 2 kind of featured the rivalry between YellOw and Boxer, and they would face off in finals together, and were just kind of, you know, competing to be kind of the best players in StarCraft in those early days. And yeah, so this is a game played in 2003, and I do know that YellOw was very competitive through 2003. In fact, I think he got let me just double check here. Yeah, he got some other stuff in like 2005 and 6, kind of had a little bit of a resurgence, but 2002 and 3 were basically his like big years that he was super dominant as a StarCraft player, and just really top level. So looking forward to seeing this. Gundam, on the other hand, he is actually no slouch either. This is a couple years after he's gotten any kind of titles. I think he got a bronze in 2001 in an OSL, and he took a couple silvers in 2001 as well for some minor tournaments. I mean, I should say not main tournaments, not what we consider like the main 2 MSL OSL. I think one was like WCG Korea, for example. So yeah, Gundam is definitely a decent player too, and capable of playing at the highest levels. But like I said, he hasn't taken a title in a couple years at this point. So we'll have to see if he can take a game off of YellOw, who is still in his prime at this point. And we do see that YellOw is going for I think a spawning pool in his base, right? No, it's a hatchery. It's a hatchery in his base. Maybe I should have checked this map, actually. Is there something weird about this map that's making them both go for one base play? Or is it just the fact that we're in 2003? That might be it also. Apologies ahead of time, by the way, if I am a little bit low on energy for this game as well. I say as well because the games I did a couple days ago, I just like was really tanked, and I was like really having to push myself. And I'm pretty tired today too. Not quite the same like crazy like wave of exhaustion that hit me that a couple days ago, but anyway, gonna try and get this out anyway. I've been trying to fix my sleep schedule of late. I've been dealing with like insomnia and stuff, and okay, it looks like this map has some weird routes to it, by the way. We're watching this SCV scout all the way to the bottom and then go through this kind of circuitous route around some ramps and stuff like that. So I half the time still I forget that I don't know the maps from 2003, and I should look them up ahead of time just in case there's something wonky about them, and I forgot to this time. But I kind of didn't have a ton of time today, so I'm trying to make sure I'm trying to make sure I don't go like 4 days without commentary like I did a couple times recently. So anyway, but let's get back into this game though. We do have the lair coming out for YellOw, and he's got a couple Zerglings out just running around chasing that SCV around in circles now. He's going to be able to get a scout in with that SCV. Is he going to try and... He looks like he's just going to try and escape with it. And okay, so it looks like there's no easy natural expansion. Maybe that's why he's going for this play, is you can see there's like a choke point outside of the main, but there's no natural expansion. There's no natural expansion. That's why they call it the natural expansion, because it's an expansion base that's natural to take because it's right next to your main. And there is no such thing on this map is what I'm finding out. So very interesting. And we're going to see a Hydralisk den going down for YellOw as well. There's Gundam, by the way. And we're going to see the Hydralisk den. So, and he's got the lair. So it looks like this is very much a lurker rush build. And the SCV was thinking about going back in and scouting some more, but is not going to survive in order to be able to do that. So Gundam's SCV is scouting that top left base. It looks like it is sort of the most natural place for YellOw to try and expand to. And Gundam going out with a little force here of Medic Marines and Fire Bats, and it looks like he's researching Stim in the background as well. Another Fire Bat coming out, and this actually could be... I mean, this is 2003 play, ladies and gentlemen, but we're seeing him push out here with this force, and you know, if YellOw is stuck at trying to get all of this tech, and he's getting the Hydrostem, getting the Lurker tech, and he doesn't have anything really, you know, he doesn't have Mutalisks or anything like that, these Firebats can actually be very, very significant problem for him. Looks like the SCV is going to get caught out. It's going to get killed off. He has seen that YellOw is not taking an extra base, though, so he might be a little bit worried about that. And he is, actually, I'm not sure where he's going with that force. Again, sorry, I do not know the construction of this map very well. But he's got some more units back at home as well, and he could plug them in that gap if he wanted to. In fact, he should, but he's not. And here they come in, and they're going to see that Firebat and the medics and just go ahead and split. And just loses one Zergling for the effort. And now Gundam's forces are all back at his main base. So he's kind of, or towards his main base, so he's a little bit united there. And this is interesting, so he's morphing some lurkers in that gap there just to make sure nothing can get in and see. But this is, I don't know if Gundam is going to be prepared for this. He probably has a comsat station, but one comsat station is not really enough for this kind of thing. And this is what I was talking about. You know, Firebats are not often used because they're, you know, such easy bait for Mutalisks, but if your opponent hasn't gotten anything but Zerglings, they could be really effective. When you have a handful of Firebats and Stim and a couple medics to go with them and Marines as backup, it can be really, really strong. But as you can see, YellOw has used these Zerglings to delay long enough to get his Lurkers out, and the Lurkers are moving in here. He burrows down. He's going to try and force those units onto the Lurkers with his Zerglings, get a little bit of a sandwich. He moves in a little bit closer, and it's just not quite enough. He's going to have to fall back, and the Lurkers on the high ground are going to be nice and annoying there. But he's chased those Marines directly into the path of his Overlord and killed it, which have killed it, I guess I should say. So... anyway, and by the way, you can see that they're kind of, I don't know where this was filmed specifically, but, oh, hold that thought. He's going in with a lot of Zerglings, going to try and make a surround to make sure that they can't get away. The Lurkers are going to burrow. He is going to actually get out of range of those Lurkers, and not too big of losses, loses a medic and a couple other units, but it's taking out a lot of Zerglings as a result. So Gundam doing pretty well for this situation. He's macroing up a decent group of more bio units to back that up, and YellOw is actually taking the bottom right base, which is near to Gundam, so a very interesting spot to be taking that, possibly because then he can use his units to put pressure on Gundam's main base and defend it at the same time. I know, a little bit risky. I think it's more likely just an attempt at a hidden expansion so that Gundam can't find it. As you can see, Gundam is trying to you know, position towards the top left of the map, and there's the Spire going down now, later than we would usually think in this day and age, but he's going to be able to switch tech up and get some Mutalisks out before too long. It looks like you haven't only ever made those handful of Lurkers. 3 Lurkers in the over on the left side, a couple others just hanging around, and it looks like this is a good map for it because there's so many ramps and things like that. And here he comes in trying to push in, and he's found it. He's found the hidden expansion as soon as it popped out. Can YellOw do anything to salvage it? It looks like probably not. I think his Lurkers are too far away. These Zerglings run in, and they are actually able to do a significant amount of damage with just Lings, just overpowering them with pure Zerglings. 11 kills on that Marine, though. That's a veteran Marine right there. Anyway, and oh no, what? Wait, whoa, drones? What are you doing, drones? This is not the place for you. Okay, there's a few more Zerglings coming in here. He isolates one Marine, picks it off. Looks like he's probably gonna get the other Marine. Yes, medic, not quite enough for the job. Too few medics for the amount of healing needed. Definitely not a commentary on our times. Anyway, Gundam still one base though, by the way. And again, this is 2003, so one base play was not uncommon as it is like in later generations of StarCraft play. So the fact that he's just kind of macroing up off of one base and posturing around the map is not too unheard of here. And here we have a dropship coming in, and just a handful of Zerglings, but because those Marines drop out one by one, can he sneak them behind those minerals? It looks like he can. There's no way for the Zerglings to get back there! There is no way for the Zerglings to get back there. And that may be why he's got this creep colony, so that he can build a sunken. He's going to try and get another one as well, and that is a beautiful place sunken, because then it can hit the Marines behind there, and the Marines have a lesser range. But now he's dropped some Marines on the other side to try and pick those off, and the colony finishes. Is it going to be? It looks like he's going to be able to kill off. Probably if he micros well, he's going to be able to kill off that creep colony before it can finish morphing into a sunken. He's just doing some beautiful play here with this micro with the Marines, and never mind, the Marines go down. He does not lift them in time, and oh, but that second sunken. Try saying that 5 times fast. The second sunken colony was actually within range of the Marines behind the minerals, and so he couldn't quite get the free attack there. These air units are going to pop out and polish off the, dropship. But in the meantime, he's lost a lot of units, meaning YellOw. YellOw's lost several units. He's lost colony. He's lost a lot of mining time at this new base, and he's lost the fact that he's had to move these lurkers down and having to burrow them in his mineral line just in order to get something to attack those Marines behind there. Imagine if that was a tank back there too. There wouldn't be a lot he could do against that if he had some mech Marines and a tank behind that mineral line. I do not know actually if there's a ground route in order to get to that spot. So, but in any case, Mulists are out, and no, maybe not. Maybe they're just gonna fly into Marines and die. That's an option too. Usually not the best use of Mutalisks, but it happens from time to time that's their role in life, is to die. And he has managed to keep that bottom right base up and running. So YellOw at 2 bases now, and it looks like Gundam's starting to push out. And I believe I remember correctly, yeah, we saw him building another command center there at the top right base, which maybe that is a natural. Is there a base in the bottom left that would have been a natural expansion for YellOw? Although I think it's actually again a weird land route to get there. I don't think there's an obvious easy land route to get to that base. It looks like he was able to float it over there. In fact, it may even been an island base. That might be why we're seeing that. Scourge trying to pick off. Ooh, a single Scourge does actually land on that science vessel. Not the second one though, so the science vessel lives, and he's able to keep his detection for these lurkers. And here we go, YellOw moving in with some lurkers and some Mutalisks, trying to attack this little clump of stranded medic Marines, and doing a decent job here, doing some damage, pushing him back farther and farther. Now Gundam pushing out with a sizable force though. He's moving some SCVs over to that other base, and we can see the path of the SCVs is a long one, so a little bit of it is kind of a tricky place to get to. This map is definitely kind of like a maze. It's a labyrinth. The way you can see the way the SCVs had to go all the way to the middle of the map and up and around. Oh no, the lurker's going in the wrong spot. Well, the right spot, but they need to burrow instead of just running in. And Comstat does go down in order to spot them, but he's able to fall back a little bit. So he's going to be able to hold that spot very, very easily. Never mind, the lurkers are. No, never mind. He was looking at a different spot, different observer spot. I thought the lurkers had died somehow, but they are still alive. They're at low hit points there. He does have science vessels out, so it's possible he will be able to irradiate them. But YellOw looking like he's on a little bit of a back foot. But this is the point where, I mean, he is called the Stormzerg for a reason. And, you know, I've never watched a ton of his games, so I'm not, like, as familiar with his style as I would like to be. And that's one of the reasons why I'm enjoying watching some of these old games. But, oh, is it going to try and catch? Nope, does not quite catch. A little bit of a late defense matrix on that vessel, but it's a good thought there. But, yeah, I mean, he's called the Stormzerg because, like I said, he was kind of the first one to, as I understand it, and please, you know, if you are actually older school than me and you know of the legend of YellOw, please tell me what more there is to know about him, but my understanding is that he was kind of the first person to play Zerg in a way that was this macro style that, you know, eventually got, you know, very much improved and might even say, well, not say perfected, but extremely improved by July Zerg, and then later on was, I would say, perfected by Jaedong, you know, just this mass macro style. And here we can see some of it. Just going with Muddling. YellOw, very strong Muddling player. He's got the lurkers underneath as well. And he's been losing lurkers here and there, but I like the fact that he's been kind of keeping the lurkers in production, because he's then able to kind of use them as a backstop to make sure that Gundam can't move out too far, that Gundam cannot pursue his Mutalisks very easily, or anything like that. So that bottom right base is dead though, and where else is YellOw mining from? He's got his main base. He doesn't have any other bases, ladies and gentlemen, and we saw him try to take out that top right base, but it didn't work. And now Gundam is taking I thought I saw him taking a third base. Again, it's such low mineral quality, pixel quality, low video quality that it's hard for me to tell, but I thought we saw him building a third command center earlier on. And there we see some radiates on the Mutalisk, but this is actually pre-Mutalisk clumping micro, before it was figured out that you could group Mutalisks with an Overlord and clump them up. So it's actually easier in this day and age to deal with the deal with the irradiates on your Mutalisks, because you can just pull the one out very easily. And here he comes in with a large group of Mutalisks in the main base. He's got a couple tanks here, but that's not going to be enough to deal with these Mutas. Just a handful of Marines, and the Zerglings coming in to reinforce are letting the Mutalisks get in farther and farther into the base. He's going to be able to take out these turrets. Oh, a nice irradiate lands in the middle. He needs to pull that one Muta out though, and he does eventually get that one Muta out. He's got several alive though, and he's just kind of being able to pick off these reinforcements as they're popping out of the barracks, doing some significant damage. But I just don't know if it's enough, because Gundam is on at least 2 bases and is pushing out onto the map, and YellOw still has 1 base. Still have 1 base. Trying to get another base in the top left. Again, this is 2003, so 1 base does not mean screwed and dead as it would have in 2007 or something like that. But regardless, he is not in good shape one way or another. And by the way, you keep seeing these scenes. Oh, that's what I started to say earlier, as I didn't have a chance to really finish that thought. But the OSL and MSL games, and oh, hold that thought again, sorry. He's coming in from a lot of different sides. If he can obliterate this army, he can actually take advantages in this game. But no, it looks like there's too many medic Marines, and he polishes all the Zerglings. 1 tank even survives. And if he'd been able to execute that with a little bit more forces involved, then he could have taken control of the map and might have been able to reinforce his army and defeat those Marines that are now stopping his third base from going up. And I think YellOw might have been able to get back into the game, but without succeeding in that attack, I think there's no way he's going to be able to get back into it, because this is what's going to happen. Is Gundam's just going to push across the map and start taking out these bases. Oh, look at this. He's going to... Oh, I thought he was like waiting for it to finish or something like that. Nope. But it finishes anyways. He doesn't cancel it, and this is going to be curtains for YellOw. I think there's no way for him to come back at this point. There's not really anything you can do with these Mutalisks running into their deaths. But anyway, what I was going to say is that, when I started working at OGN, it was the studio was actually in a mall. It was in the top floor of a mall, and like the MSL was in like this sort of commercial area as well. And so you can see that's probably what the situation is here with this game, with this MSL. It was probably being filmed in just a public place, basically, and that's why you see these random bystanders that are just kind of like wandering by as if they're in the middle of shopping and just stopping for a peek and standing and watching some of the game. So anyway, very interesting game, very amusing to see what 2003 play was like, right? To see 1 base Zerg versus 1 base Terran, and just a lurker rush and late mutas and stuff like that. And again, it's easy to kind of judge it harshly based on what we know the path of StarCraft strategy meta took over the years, but that was kind of the usual stuff for back then. So anyway, and this was YellOw wasn't playing badly for this time, because this was in 2003, and he won Star Leagues in 2003, so he is at the top of his game here. And so that's what we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, is the top Zerg being taken out by Gundam in this interesting match. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching, and GG. And yeah, we're gonna do a couple more MSL 100s, and sneak in a couple more replays. Pretty soon, though, as I mentioned in my last video, although I don't know if anyone made it to the end of that because it was very long, but I'm going to try and pick an OSL from these early days and do the entire Star League, and then probably do another live finals as the finale to that. So again, if you do have like a favorite Star League from like these early days that you think is a good one that was very exciting, let me know, because I haven't seen any of them, which should be very interesting to watch all of them actually. So that'll be cool. And I'm thinking maybe, well, I don't know, maybe it'd be fun to do one from 2003 and watch all this one base play and stuff like that. Or maybe we could do 2004 or 5 when things had picked up a little bit, you know, the era of July Zerg and other players that came up. So there's, I mean, it's just so cool to think about because there's so much history to this game, and, you know, the rise and not fall, but the sometimes fall and sometimes petering out of all these legendary players. And, you know, it's interesting that like all of these legendary players that get all these Star League titles are now the coaches and the you know, the leaders of esports in general. So it's like they didn't really ever fall, and their dedication early on to this early esport that was not necessarily going anywhere, that they just did because of the passion of it, that it ended up working out for them, is just pretty cool in general. So yeah, like I think YellOw, for example, ended up being the coach or the manager of a League of Legends team or something like that. If I remember correctly, I don't remember. It's hard to tell, but I know he was in some sort of leadership position at some point in time, just because, you know, he's a famous guy, and so he was able to leverage that fame from winning. Let me see here. I'm just looking at his page. He's got 26 titles of various sorts. YellOw has. Mostly between 2001 and 2003. So when you're that good for a few years, like, you stand out, you become a legend. So, all right, I'm going to stop rambling now. Thanks for watching. GG.